I'm Paul Geddes, and I'm proud to be a Dino. I played my midget hockey and was not playing top level hockey. Played in the Junior B League here in Calgary, and then played a year with the Canucks. And I went to school when I was with the Canucks. And at that time, I was kind of not sure what I wanted to do. But we had a great team in Calgary with the Canucks. Won the Alberta Junior Hockey League. I played with some great players, and it kind of got me a little bit excited about maybe continuing on. I had talked to some other universities in the U.S. as well as in Canada, but just thought, we got a great program here. I want to stay home with my mom, be there to support, to help out. And so it really worked out well. And again, there's great programs across North America.
A young man who came in at age 19, a young man that had exactly the kind of makeup of hard work, of determination, of simply wanting to be his best. And he was among the leaders always in hard work.
I'd love to tell you that every one of those 32 goals was coast to coast, top shelf. They weren't. In fact, most of them were probably within 5 feet of the net. But I think, if I want to talk about myself a little bit, probably the greatest attribute I had as an athlete was to work hard. I never stopped working just because I wasn't a incredibly skilled athlete. I worked very hard, so I won a lot of battles. I got to some of those places that you can be successful. And again, I will say it again, I had great teammates who I was able to feed off of. It was right place, right time for me for a lot of things. I was not a top player at all growing up, and I had a couple of really good years at university. I also had a couple of average years, let's be honest. But I got an opportunity to play with some incredible players, and when the team does really well, then individuals get an opportunity to shine, and it just happened to be me where that puck bounced in off a few more times than some other guys. Obviously, great coaching with George and Willie Desjardins supported that, right? So I was able to take those 4 years and develop as a player, whereas if I'd gone to junior, may not have had that same opportunity. They were patient, gave me those opportunities, and again, got to play with some incredible players. And I think back about the quality of players, guys like Ken Vingy and Terry Jones and Barry Bracco. These guys are all top 5 scorers all time at the University of Calgary. So getting to play with good players, getting great coaching, and giving me the time, that 4 years to develop, probably physically and probably more importantly mentally, really kind of did springboard me into those opportunities that I had after that.
And he wanted to get to the goal of the Canadians. He wanted to get to the goal. Unfortunately, with his size, he was not a candidate at that time for the National Hockey League. But he had the speed to play international hockey. And with Paul, we had a very successful run at the Canadian Championship. Unfortunately, we did not win, but you can be proud of all the effort we made every time we went to the Canadians. And now you fast forward Paul, and he went to Europe. He, with many, many players that were University of Calgary players, have their sweaters hanging in arenas in Europe. This is the quality of the young men that left the Dinosaur hockey program.
In my first year, I said this before, we weren't very good. We won 3 games out of 24, so we were 3-21. It was tough. Second year, we were a little bit better, but we did go into U of A one night and lose 13-0 on national TV. So the first 2 years were tough. What I remember, I guess, the most from the back half of my career was just how good we were, how successful we were in terms of records. We were ranked #1 for most of those 2 years. But I do remember those games, U of A and U of S. I still hate them, sorry, I still do. My last year, we swept U of A. We beat them 8 out of 8. And that was a very good hockey team that I believe, and I could be wrong, but I believe they won on host nationals and win nationals. But yeah, those 2 teams, I think, brought out the best in all of us just because they were so good. The programs were so strong. We loved to beat them and hated losing to them, and I still hate to see us lose to them. Getting the opportunity to go play in the Spengler Cup while I was at the University of Calgary was, really probably the key moment that A, made me think I wanted to go there, and B, maybe give me that opportunity because I met some folks over there. So went over the Spengler Cup, we won the Spengler Cup, and there was 5 or 6 of us from Canada that played with some imports that were playing in Switzerland at the time. So that was the year of the Olympics, 1988. And I was with Team Canada at the end of the university year and went to spring camp and got invited to main camp. And then I got an offer to go to Switzerland. A player I had met over in Davos had asked me if I'd be interested. I said, well, let me just check. So I went to Dave King and said, look, Dave, I want to play in the Olympics. If you tell me I've got a chance, I'm here. I'll stay and I'll stick it out. And he said, well, maybe you should take that offer in Europe. So it hurt a little bit, but you know, at the end of the day, it was the right decision for me.
Paul is a perfect poster boy, if you will, or role model for many, many of the athletes that graduated successfully from us, not just as hockey players, but as people who were leaders in their community, were leaders in the game of giving back to sport. Couldn't ask for a full circle of what we had hoped.
You know, I talk to a lot of people, you know, a lot of people are, you know, congratulating me, and don't get me wrong, this is an absolute honor and a privilege. And I'm humbled by it because there are so many good players that have come through the program, whether it was before me with the Laycocks and those guys, or after me with, you know, Tracy Katelnikoff and Jason Kryaluk and Ken Vingy and Barry Bracco and all those guys. So I hope somebody does. I will be the first one there to celebrate that.